to do a rain dance.
Yeah,
We really do.
Sounds like a great idea.
Water your plants.
Well, today we have a beautiful guest that I'm going to introduce in a minute, who's been here before, Mr. Grae Taylor over here. But we're going to start with our usual opening up. If anyone has any prayer requests, anyone in your life that you would like to send in prayer, put in prayer, people or animal friends. Yes.
my daughter Allison.
Terry,
Sue
Sue,
and me. That's them.
Danielle and Rick.
Danielle and Rick,
Victoria.
Victoria,
America.
America.
Yes.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah,
Awesome.
there's one
Donald
politician
Trump.
that says it's crippled, so I want to pray for him.
What?
There's one politician that says America's crippled, so I want to pray
That's
for
pretty
him.
You need to pray for both of them.
Wonderful.
Yeah, there you go.
Pray for
Fix
both.
both of them, then we're
Pray for their hearts. They have both forgotten who they are.
Right.
Pray for their hearts.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Lots of prayers.
They have a heart.
Lots of prayers.
Anyone else have anybody
Yeah.
who'd like to add to the list? No? Alrighty then. Well, we're gonna send a prayer out, and we're gonna start with a couple of breaths, as we always do in here. Take a couple of deep breaths together. Inhaling deep into your belly, filling all the way up into your upper cavity, your chest, and then exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. One more time, inhale through the nose. And all the tension, stress, worry, anything that you're carrying on your body, mind, spirit, heart, let it go. Let's take a moment to activate and call in our divine source, all the angels that support us, divine beings of light that support us. We send these beautiful prayers for each and every one of these light beings and the America, our nation, and for all of those nations, including America, that may need a little love and support right now. We ask that our divine source and angels connect and nurture and answer the prayers and be present with and love on each and every one of these blessed beings, as well as ourselves, remembering that sometimes that it's us that needs the shift in perspective, and we ask our angels to support us as well on that shift in our own perspective, sending love and light to all of those, and so it is.
So
Come on. And yesterday I went to this, I think some of you were here last Sunday when I talked about, we did a little bit of a partnership exercises of sacred intimacy and tantric type of work, and I did a white tantric yoga meditation program yesterday, and it was just absolutely so powerful, so powerful. And just this morning when I woke up, I was like, we need to chant the primal sounds. How many of you are familiar with the primal sounds? So it's A-U-M. If you didn't have a tongue, ah, oo, om. So if you didn't have a tongue, that's the primal sound. So we're going to activate within ourselves. We're going to do it a couple of times. Just invite you to activate your throat. That's why we connected this morning on the throat. She brought the throat bowl for the
Spirit is always right.
We're always fun. I didn't think about that when you said it this morning.
It's just like you.
So here we go. Let's take a breath. let it go. One more. And one more time, and feeling that with this sound, you're activating the primal light within every cell of your being, activating your voice, activating your heart, activating the love within you. Here we go. Take one more breath and just let yourself sit with that vibration for a moment. And so it is. I'd like to invite Grae Taylor up here this beautiful morning. He's a part of One Spirit community, and it's a part of ours too, so welcome.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Oh, thank you so much for having me back. It's, what, 2 months ago? 3 months ago, I guess, I came and spoke, and I have this perspective that I think we learn and we grow from our interaction with each other. So I thank you for being here, for sharing what you know. It doesn't matter that you openly share it, that you express those words. I think our spirits connect. I think our energies interact with each other when we're in this space. And so thank you for bringing what you have this morning, because I know that I am stronger, I learn, and I am further on my path because we are here together. So thank you very much for that. As usual, I brought notes because I don't rely fully on my memory. So I think last time we were here, I talked about that voice that sometimes tries to limit us and how we overcome in that. And I talked about our perspectives and how simply changing our perspective, looking at our situation from a different place, can give us a completely different experience. And so I want to pursue that a little further today. And the thing that I've been thinking about most lately are our words and the power of our words. And if you think about all the things that we do in our life, we have this idea of what we want to do, whether it's a big task or whether it's a little task. Those all start as thoughts inside of our heads. And at some point that thought progresses and it becomes an action, and we complete that thought. We give those words intent and it becomes our reality. So we do that on a daily basis in this world. And so my question is, as the spiritual beings that we are, don't we have that same ability? If we are inviting other energies in, if we are sharing our energies with those around us, it's our words and it's our intent that create that and make that possible. Our words, our actions that create our reality. And so I think that's an important thing. One of the quotes, and I apologize, I don't remember the person's name who made this quote or who created this quote. But it says, take care of your thoughts, for they become your words. Take care of your words, for they become your actions. Take care of your actions, for they become your habits. Take care of your habits, for they become your character. And take care of your character, for it becomes your legacy. And all of that starts in our heads as a thought. And we give that thought action and we create. And I think there's some tremendous magic that happens in there. You want to do some magic this morning? Please stand. Wow, that went very well. That's what, can you imagine what the newspapers are going to say tomorrow? That this little guy from East Tennessee went to a place called Illuminations, and through the use of 2 words caused an entire room to raise up off of their chairs.
Awesome.
The power of words.
And you should use the magic word,
Please.
yes.
All right, I need a volunteer. You want to volunteer? You want to help? Somebody? Come on.
Sure. Why not?
All right, so that was the power of 2 words. What if we use the power of 3 words? Stay here, put your hands out like this, and then say,
Please be seated.
wow, you got the magic too. That's awesome. I know that's a simple way of looking at the power of words. But what if we are able to transition that into that part of us which is spirit? And we're able to take those words that happen in our heads and have those become a reality. So turn to the person beside you, just anyone, and say, my words are my power. My words are my power. Wonderful. And so I think that the part of the journey becomes internalizing that. If I had to give today's talk a title, it would be Moving from the Hope to the No. Now, hope isn't necessarily a bad thing. Hope is a good thing. But when we talk about creating our realities, creating our new existence, or implementing whatever change it is that we want to see in our lives, the hope, I think, has to transition. It has to become something else. The hope is of itself is good. I hope that I get a new job. I hope that I make a lot of money. I hope I find a partner that will love me in the way that I love them. Those are wonderful things. But then opening up in your life and being in a place where you allow those things to become real, I think that's where our true power lies. I just closed my document, sorry. All right. So, in my house, I have a little helper. Her name is called Alexa. Have you heard of the Amazon Echo? She's a little speaker, a little assistant in my house. And she's pretty fantastic because she takes my words and she turns them into action. I can say, Alexa, what time is it? And she say, it's 11:45. I can say, Alexa, set a timer for 20 minutes. I can say, Alexa, play David Bowie. Oh, she's answering me. She's on my phone as well. But she's a great, I can say, Alexa, turn on the lights in the dining room. And the lights will come on. She's fantastic. So what if we had in ourselves an Alexa of sort? What if we communicated in that way with our spirit? And we said, Spirit, let me be in a place of love all day today. Spirit, let me realize my dreams today. There was a time in my previous job, I worked for a restaurant supply company. And I had been there for a couple of years. I had a new manager who came in. She was fairly young, first time in a management position. And she and I didn't get along. Well, let me clarify. She didn't get along with me. I thought she was okay. But what happened is that being new in management, and I had tons of that experience, there were a lot of times when I was self-driven. I would think something needed to be done and I would just do it. We would be in meetings and I would have suggestions. And I think what that did is make her self-conscious. She felt like she needed to be the one who was coming up with those ideas. And so there was a time when I went into work, it was a Tuesday, and I think it was right after Labor Day. I came in on a Tuesday and I couldn't get into my computer. And I went in to see what was going on, and she said, "We need to have a talk. I just don't think this is going to work out. So today is your last day." Just out of the blue. And so I went home, and of course, my partner was at work, so I was the only one at home. So I just had a little quiet time, just with me, and I went into meditation. And the statement that came to me was, "I am ready to receive that which is coming to me." And so I used that in my meditation, and I said it over and over in that meditation. That was a Tuesday. I had let some friends know what was going on. On Wednesday, a friend calls and said, "We need a PM manager, a project manager, and so if you can come in on Thursday morning, you can start up."
Wow.
That was powerful for me. And I think it was because I used the words. I think sometimes it's important that we have the thoughts, and we dream and we create all these visions and all these things that we want to do in our lives. But it's the word, it's saying it, that actually instigates the action. And so that's one of those experiences that I carry with me since it's happened, is, just saying, I'm ready to receive that which is coming to me. That was pretty awesome. Maggie Worrell, she writes for Forbes magazine. She has a degree in business, but also a degree in psychology. And she talks about our words. She says, "Psychologists have found that our subconscious mind interprets what it hears literally. The words that come out of our mouth therefore create the reality you inhabit." Here's the important part: for better or for worse. So I think we have to understand that our words are intense once we're creating and actually speaking into being what we want in this life. We have to be clear. They have to be specific, because we can create a better existence for ourselves, or we can create something that's not what we envisioned. I have a friend who's like that. She's a wonderful person, and I want to pause. It is pouring down rain. For these and so many things, we are thankful, right?
I hope my
We needed
house
that.
also.
Wonderful. So, but she's very much like that. In any situation in her life, it can be a positive experience, but she can somehow turn it into a negative. I was joking with her. I said, "It's interesting to me that I think if you won $100 million lottery, your experience of that would be, oh my God, it's $100 million. That's going to ruin my life, because what am I going to do with all that money? I'm going to spend it all, and then I'm going to be broken." I think that would be her experience. Instead of living in the joy, she lives in the negative potential outcome. And so a lot of times that expression and that concept becomes her reality. And so she's a great example, I think. So the whole thing comes down to our words. It's important to spend time deciding that the things that we want in our life are okay. Is there anybody, well, let's not do it that way. Who has a dream for the life? Who has a vision? Who is in process and knows that they want to get to someplace in their life? We are someplace, but we all have those dreams. And so I think there's an important process, because I once heard that everything that we experience in this life, we experience on the inside. We don't experience anything outside of our bodies. If we see something, it's because our eyes have taken that light and transitioned that into pictures in our head. If we touch this chair, it's because we have nerves in our body that translate that information into our brains. If we taste food, it's because our tongues have receptors, taste buds, that transition that into our bodies. So the things that we experience in this life all happen on the inside. And so I think it's important that we realize that that's where the magic happens. That's where the important stuff goes on. I've got to quit hitting buttons. So who has, would anybody have a dream? Anybody have something that they're wanting to implement in their life that they want to speak this morning? Yes.
I want to wake up every morning and be in front of the ocean.
Ah, there you go.
There you go, fantastic. And so it is. Anybody else? Yes.
I have a talent of dancing and I'd like to start dancing.
Wow. And so it is. That's wonderful.
I like to sing, there's a particular Italian pop artist I've been following on YouTube. Nobody's heard of him on this side of the pond, but he's the equivalent of Bruce Springsteen, but for Italy. I'd like to be able to share it and then have that go somewhere.
Yeah, wonderful. And so it is. There was we were just talking about this, had a retreat yesterday, and they were talking about visioning and creating and deciding what we want to do in life. And a story was shared of a woman who was in a group, and she was rather diminutive. She was kind of laid back. And they got to the point of asking what your dreams are, and she says, I think I want to sing. And so they all supported her in that, gave her that energy that she needed. And 2 or 3 months down the road, she did. She sang at her church, and then she took it forward. She is now managing a group of singers. So not only did she find out in her life what she really wanted to do and made that happen, but it transitioned into a full-time job for her, doing what she loved to do. So I talked about my job. In making change is never easy for a lot of us. It's something that we want to do, but sometimes stresses us out. And I think that's because when we think about change, we think about the end result. We think about moving from this point to this point, and all that stuff in the middle, we lump it together. And so it becomes this enormous task for us. And so I think the secret to one of those is just deciding that it's okay to make a small change. I brought a visual example this morning. Can someone help me? Anybody come up and volunteer? You volunteer? Okay. So we are, let me give you this side. You'll take the middle, we'll make it even. All right, stretch that out. So one of these lines is you, and one of these lines is your journey or your path. And so sometimes we decide we want our path to be different. If you implement a small change, so if you will, move your line up just about an inch. Yeah, and keep holding it. Bottom one's flat. So look to where Michael's hand is. We made a small change at the point of decision. A small change. But look here. If this was your path, it doesn't mean you making this much of a change all at once. I think that can be where our stress comes from. But if we look at where we are, if we look at Michael's finger, if we make a small change there, look what it becomes in time. I think that is important. We don't have to make major changes to start that journey. It can be a small thing. And so if you want to sing, if you want to dance, if you want to live by the beach, those things are all immensely possible. And so are all the dreams that all of you have. It's about setting the words, deciding what words you want to use, and making that dream come true. And so I want to conclude today, and take a little time. I want to talk about something we talked about earlier this morning. You know, we live in a world where things seem a little crazy right now. I'm sure you've heard about New York City this morning. I think it happened last night. There was apparently not an enormous attack, but there was a bombing that was apparently intentional. And that's just another example of kind of the chaos that we feel like we're experiencing right now.
Two bombs.
Was it? Well, I thought they thwarted the second one.
Oh, they might have.
Yeah, they found the second bomb and prevented that one from going off. And what we talked this morning, and one of the things I shared is sometimes in those situations we talk about needing for the world to change, needing for things to be different. And that's true, but my thought is I think the world has changed. And my reasoning behind that is those who have been the majority, those who have had beliefs that have limited anyone in this world. Years ago, they were the majority. I think what's happened is that the world has changed, and they are now the minority. And when you change your fundamental experience of life, that is scary. I'm sure that they are completely fear-laden, because what they see is that their world has changed. And so what they're doing is holding on for dear life to that which they have always known. And so it is our love, it is our peace, it is us releasing that into the world around us that will help to heal that. I think as spiritual beings, as people on a journey, I think we are in a time and in a place where the work that we do is vitally important. So I would say as you think of yourself in your mind, claim your divinity, claim your power. When you're meditating, when you have your time, speak those words of peace. Speak those words of compassion. Speak those words of tolerance. Because those vibrations, they don't just end with you. They reverberate out into the world around us. And I think we probably all know that we release peace into the world by recognizing and fostering our own peace. So know who you are in the grand scheme of things. Know that you have important work to do, especially in this time. So if you will, please, let's just close. I would like to do a short meditation. Just a centering. This morning, we recognize that we are all divine beings, that we are all infinitely connected to such a great source of power and strength. Find that place in you that is peace, that place that is love. And as an example of what we've talked about this morning, if you will repeat after me, there is peace.
There is peace.
There is love.
There is love.
There is compassion.
There is compassion.
there is tolerance.
There is tolerance.
In this very room, there's quite enough love for all of us. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for us. And there's quite enough peace, and there's quite enough power to wash away every fear. There's power, the power is in this very room. That power is you. Thank you all so much for letting me share with you this morning. Blessings to you all.
Thank you.
Ms. Marlene, would you like to? Don?
While she's getting ready, would you mention about next Sunday?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, yes. So next Sunday is our community meeting and potluck and all of that, so any of y'all that wanna join us for a yummy meal. And also Wendy West is here. Wendy, would you stand up there, everybody? She's gonna be our guest speaker next week. Excited to have her.
Yay.
So Wendy's gonna speak, we're gonna do our potluck, and then we're gonna have our community meeting, where we're opening it up, seeing what the needs are and what everybody's interests are.
And as you all know, this is the throat chakra. I wanted to bring the other bowl, and Spirit says, no, bring the throat chakra. So I listen and I keep it open. All right.
take a nice deep breath and really ground this energy in our bodies. And one more. I'll end with one of my favorite little poems/songs. May the longtime sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. So it is.
So,